Imagine waking up in a world where there are no cities, no houses, no farms, just endless land, wild animals, and your family depending on you to survive. No supermarkets, no tools, only your bare hands and a sharpened stone. Every morning, your children's hungry eyes remind you of one brutal truth. Today you either find food or your family starves. This is the story of how the very first humans fought hunger, hunted dangerous beasts, and discovered the survival diet that shaped the future of mankind. The sun is only beginning to rise, painting the sky in shades of gold and orange. The land stretches wide and untamed, forest heavy with fruit trees, long grasses swaying in the breeze, and the distant sound of rushing water from a nearby river. It is a world without villages, without farms, without tools beyond what hands and stone can shape. But it is also a world of life, teeming with birds, herds of animals, and the constant rhythm of survival. In a small cottage of branches, mud, and dried grass, a man stirs awake. His bed is no more than woven leaves, but it has kept him warm through the night. He blinks against the soft sunlight filtering through gaps in the roof. The air smells of smoke from yesterday's fire, long burned to ashes. He rises slowly, his body lean and hardened by a life of endless searching. Beside him, his mate, the woman he has chosen, or perhaps the one fate left to him, opens her eyes. She glances toward the corner of the cottage, where two small children lie curled together under animal skins. Their eyes open too, and almost at once the youngest begins to whimper. Hunger has a way of waking them faster than the sun. The woman touches the man's arm, a gesture filled with meaning though no complex words are spoken. She makes a sound, low and urging, then points to the children. Their stomachs are empty, and the day must begin with food. The man nods, already aware. He stands and takes up a long wooden spear leaning against the wall. The tip is sharpened against stone, blackened by fire. It is not perfect. It splinters easily. It cannot pierce the thick hide of great beasts. But it is all he has, and it must be enough. The woman gathers her own tools, a stone scraper tied to a wooden handle, a pouch woven from dried reeds, and a sharp flake of rock. She will gather fruits, roots, or nuts along the way. Survival is never the task of one alone, it belongs to all. The children follow them outside, rubbing their eyes, small feet pressing into the cool dirt. The morning is alive with sound, the chirp of insects, the caw of distant birds, the rustle of unseen creatures in the grass. Beyond the trees, shapes move, animals grazing in the distance, wary but not yet alarmed. The man breathes deeply. This land is both friend and enemy. It offers food, but it also hides danger. A wild boar can gore a man with its tusks. A leopard can stalk silently until it leaps from the trees. But fear cannot stop them. Hunger is greater. He gestures for his family to follow, and together they move out of the clearing, stepping into the shadows of the tall trees. The children pick berries from low branches, their fingers stained red with juice. The woman digs at the base of a tree, pulling out thick roots to carry in her pouch. But berries and roots will not last long. What they need is meat. The man kneels and presses his hand to the ground. His eyes scan the dirt until he finds it. A fresh track, the hoof print of a small deer. His heart beats faster. This is the chance. He motions for his family to wait, then begins to move alone, silent and patient, into the trees. The forest grows thicker, the sounds sharper. Every rustle could be his prey, or something far worse. He crouches low, spear held tight, until at last he sees it, a young deer grazing on tender leaves. Its ears twitch, alert, but it does not yet sense him. The man steadies his breath. His body tenses. With a sudden burst, he lunges forward, spear aimed for the side of the animal. The deer bolts, but not fast enough. The sharpened wood strikes, piercing its flesh. The creature stumbles, collapses, and thrashes against the earth. The man moves quickly, pressing his weight against it, finishing what must be done. His breathing is hard, his chest heaving, but his eyes shine with triumph. This kill means life. When he returns, dragging the animal across the dirt, the woman and children rush forward. The children's eyes widen at the sight of meat, and even the woman, so used to hunger, lets out a sound of relief. Together they carry it back to their cottage. By midday, the fire burns once more. The woman scrapes the hide with her stone tool, while the man cuts strips of meat with sharp flakes of rock. The children watch impatiently as the fire cooks the flesh, the scent filling the air thick and heavy. When at last they eat, their faces light with joy. The children chew greedily, the woman savors each bite, and the man, though he eats last, feels a deep satisfaction. This is not just food, it is survival. Around the fire, as the sun climbs high, the family laughs in their own way. Their voices are not words like ours, but sounds of happiness, a rhythm of survival that has carried their kind through countless days. For tonight, they will sleep with full bellies. For tonight, they have won. But tomorrow, the hunger will return, and the hunt will begin again. The sun rises higher, warming the land, and the small family rests after their morning meal. The fire smolders, its smoke trailing upward, keeping biting insects away. But the food they have eaten will not last long. The man knows this. The woman knows it. Even the children know it. In this world, no meal is ever enough. Survival is not a single victory. It is a battle fought every day. The man stands once more, stretching his arms. His body aches from the hunt, but he does not stop. He signals to the woman, who understands at once. Today they must search for more. Meat can last a short while, but roots, fruits, nuts, and honey will keep them alive when the spear cannot. They set off into the forest. The children walk between them, small hands holding on to each other. The path is not a true path, only the memory of where their feet have carried them before. Every step is careful. Every sound is a warning. The forest is alive. Monkeys chatter, high above, leaping from branch to branch. Birds scatter at sudden movement. The buzzing of insects fills the air, thick and constant. To the family, these are signs. Where there are monkeys, there may be fruit. Where there are birds, there may be seeds. Where the insects swarm, there may be sweet honey hidden in hollow trees. The woman is the first to find something. At the base of a large tree, she kneels, digging with her stone scraper. The earth is soft here, damp from the night's dew. Her hands pull free a cluster of thick, starchy roots. She smells them, tests their firmness, then places them into her pouch. The children crowd around, reaching, but she shakes her head. These must be cooked before they can be eaten. Raw. They are too hard, too bitter. The man scouts ahead, his spear ready. He sees the marks on trees, claw scratches running deep into bark. His eyes narrow. A leopard. It passed here recently. His chest tightens, but he moves quietly back to his family. He does not speak, but his face tells them enough. The woman grips the children's hands tighter. They must be careful. As they move deeper, the forest opens into a clearing filled with fruit trees. Round yellow fruits hang heavy from the branches, their skins glistening in the sunlight. The children run forward, laughter spilling from their mouths, but the man stops them with a sharp sound. Danger can hide in sweetness. He approaches first, spear raised. He circles the trees, listening, scanning. Only when he is certain there are no lurking predators does he motion them forward. The woman climbs onto a low branch, plucking the fruits and dropping them down. The children bite into them eagerly, juice running down their faces. For a moment, the forest feels like paradise, food hanging freely, the gift of the land itself. But paradise never lasts long. The man hears it first, the crack of branches, the heavy thud of paws. His eyes dart to the edge of the clearing. The leopard. Yellow eyes glint from the shadows, muscles coiled, teeth flashing. The children freeze, their small bodies trembling. The woman grips a stone in her hand, ready to throw, though she knows it will do little. The man steps forward, spear steady, his body tense. He knows he cannot outrun the beast. He cannot kill it easily, but he can fight long enough to protect his family. The leopard creeps closer, its body low, its gaze fixed on the smallest child. The man lets out a loud, sharp cry, a warning sound used by his kind for generations. His voice echoes through the trees, startling birds into the sky. He slams the butt of his spear against the ground, a drumbeat of defiance. The leopard pauses, ears twitching, tail lashing. Its hunger pulls it forward, but its caution holds it back. For a long moment, predator and man stare into each other's eyes, the forest silent around them. Then, with a snarl, the leopard turns, slipping back into the trees, vanishing as quickly as it came. The family does not move at first. Their hearts pound, their breaths ragged. Only when the forest begins to sing again with its normal sounds do they exhale. The danger has passed, but the memory will linger. The man wipes sweat from his brow. He looks at his children, still clutching half-eaten fruit, and feels the weight of what almost was. He takes the fruit gently from their hands, places it into the pouch with the roots, and motions for them to leave the clearing. The forest has given them food, but it has also reminded them of the cost. Every bite is earned, every day borrowed. As they walk back, the woman spots a hollow tree buzzing with bees. She points, excitement flashing in her eyes. Honey, sweet, rich, rare, a treasure of the forest. The man approaches cautiously. The bees swarm angrily, defending their hive. Their stings are sharp, but he does not fear them as he fears the leopard. With a smoldering branch carried from their fire, he waves smoke toward the hive. The bees scatter, confused, their hum rising into the air. Quickly, he thrusts his hand into the hollow, pulling free the dripping comb. Honey oozes golden and thick, sticking to his fingers. The children squeal with delight as he hands them pieces, their mouths coated in sweetness. This, too, is survival, the knowledge of fire, the courage to take what the land hides, the sharing of sweetness after fear. When they return to their cottage, their pouches heavy with roots and fruit, their hands sticky with honey, their bellies full enough to rest, the children fall asleep quickly, their small bodies curled in peace. The woman tends the fire, roasting the roots until their bitter taste softens. The man sharpens his spear against stone, his eyes always alert, always searching the shadows. The day has given much, but it has also taken something unseen. Trust, safety. The family knows now that the leopard watches, waiting for another chance. In this land, every gift has its danger, and every danger teaches them to live another day. The sun rises high, burning the mist away and leaving the wide plains exposed. The family stands at the edge of the forest, gazing out over the endless grassland. Herd animals graze in the distance. Antelope, zebras, wild cattle. Their legs are swift, their senses sharp, their numbers great. To catch one is not simple. Yet the man knows they must try. Fruit and roots will not always be enough. Meat will make them strong. Meat will give them fire in their blood. The man grips his spear, running his fingers along its sharpened tip. He glances at the woman, who carries stones in a pouch. She nods. The children will stay near the trees, safe under her watch. Today the man must hunt. But he is not alone. From the forest shadows, 3 more men appear. They are not family, but they are kin, part of a larger band that sometimes gathers, sometimes scatters. Alone, each one is vulnerable. Together they are dangerous. They do not speak much, for words are still new and rough, but their eyes meet, their hands signal, and they understand. The hunt begins. The men step onto the open land, the grass brushing. Against their legs, insects buzzing around them. The wind carries their scent forward, and soon the herd lifts its heads. Ears flick, eyes widen, tails whip. The animals know danger when they feel it. The men spread out, forming a crescent. Slowly they press forward, step by step. The herd stirs, nervous, shifting as one. Then, with a burst of sound, the animals break, running in waves, the thunder of hooves shaking the ground. The men do not give chase blindly. They know they cannot outrun the antelope. Their strength is not in speed, but in patience. Their bodies are built not for sprinting, but for enduring. They can sweat where the animals cannot run farther than the prey can imagine, and so the long hunt begins. The men follow at a steady pace, their eyes locked on one chosen animal, a young zebra that lags behind the herd. It bolts forward, strong at first, but the men do not stop. They keep running, mile after mile, their feet drumming against the earth. When the zebra slows, they press harder. When it turns, they shift. When it hides among the herd, they wait. Hours pass. The sun beats down mercilessly, yet the men keep moving. Sweat pours down their faces, their breaths deep and steady. The zebra grows tired, foam gathering at its mouth, its legs trembling. The men circle closer, driving it apart from the others. One throws a stone, striking its flank. Another shouts, the sound sharp and harsh. Fear drives the animal on, but its strength is fading. At last, the zebra stumbles. Its body crashes into the dry grass, kicking wildly. The men rush forward, spears raised. The animal screams, a sound of wild terror, but the men are relentless. One spear plunges into its side, another strikes its chest. The hunt is over. But the danger is not. The smell of blood carries far. The men know what it means. Predators will come. Lions, hyenas, vultures. They must act quickly. They work with practiced speed, cutting flesh with stone blades, tearing strips of meat free. Their hands are red, their mouths already chewing raw slivers for strength. The rest is packed in skins and carried. Suddenly the woman's sharp cry pierces the air. The men freeze, spears ready. Across the plain, shadows move. Lions, sleek and powerful, their golden eyes locked on the kill. The men's hearts race. They are many, but the lions are more. To fight would be death. The leader of the men acts fast. He grabs a burning branch carried in a clay bowl, the fire still smoldering from the morning. He lifts it high, waving it, sparks flying. Fire! The weapon no beast dares challenge. He thrusts it toward the lions, shouting with all his breath. The others join, raising spears, stamping feet, throwing stones. The lions halt, their bodies tense, their growls deep. For long moments the plain holds its breath. Then, with flicking tails, the lions retreat, melting into the tall grass. The men waste no time. They drag what meat they can carry, leaving the rest for scavengers. The Asai plains belong to many, and no one feast lasts forever. By the time they return to the forest, the children rush forward with wide eyes. The woman smiles faintly, relief softening her face. The man drops the meat before her, his body weary but alive. The children press close, touching the prize, smelling the iron scent. Tonight they will eat well. Tonight they will be strong as the fire crackles, roasting the meat. The band gathers. They share stories in broken sounds, gestures, and laughter. The children chew slowly, learning the taste of victory. The man sits apart for a moment, watching the flames. He knows tomorrow will bring hunger again and danger again. But tonight, under the stars, they have won. The long hunt has given them more than food. It has given them memory. The memory of running together, of outlasting the beast, of raising fire against the lion's eyes. These memories will stay, passed, on to the children, carried into the future. For in this land, survival is not only in flesh and fire, it is in the story of how they endured. The sun sinks low, painting the sky with streaks of red and orange. The long hunt is over, the meat is roasted, and the children's bellies are full. The man sits quietly, his body aching, but his spirit alive. Around him, the small band of humans settles in. The fire burns at the center of their circle, its crackling voice louder than their few words. But as the last light fades, the world changes. The grasslands, wide and open by day, now turn into a vast sea of black. The trees, once familiar, twist into strange shapes. Every sound carries further. The hoot of an owl, the rustle of leaves, the snapping of twigs. Each noise could mean a predator creeping close. The woman pulls the children nearer to the fire, their eyes wide and uncertain. They have never loved the night. No one does, for in the dark, they are no longer hunters. They are prey. The man feeds another branch into the flames. Sparks leap upward, chasing the stars. Fire is more than warmth. It is safety. The lions fear it. The hyenas hate it. Even the shadows seem to stop at its edge. Long ago, before they learned fire, nights were full of terror. But now they carry its light wherever they go. The children nibble on the last scraps of roasted meat, their faces smeared with grease. One child laughs softly, imitating the zebra's cry from earlier, making the others giggle. The sound is small, but it is enough to push back the fear. Laughter, like fire, keeps the night away. The woman begins to hum, a low rhythm, simple and steady. It is not yet a song, not as we know songs now, but it is the beginning of one. Her voice rises and falls like the wind, calming the little ones. Soon their eyelids grow heavy, and they curl against her side, safe in her arms, the firelight dancing across their faces. But the men stay awake. They know the night is long. In the distance, a howl rises, a deep, rolling call. The wolves. Their voices echo across the plains, chilling the blood. The man grips his spear tighter, his heart quickening. The others glance at him, their eyes hard. They must be ready. More howls answer, closer now. Shapes flicker at the edge of the firelight, low forms, eyes glinting green. The wolves have smelled the kill. They want what is left. The men leap to, their feet, firebrands in one hand, spears in the other. They shout, stamping the ground, waving the flames. The wolves snarl, pacing just beyond the light. One darts forward, teeth flashing, but a spear is thrust, and it leaps back. The standoff lasts long. The fire hisses, the men shout, the wolves circle. The children stir in their sleep, but the woman keeps them close, whispering soft sounds, hiding her fear. At last, the wolves retreat, melting into the black. Their howls fade, swallowed by the night. The men do not cheer. They know the wolves will return. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, but tonight they are safe. The man sits again, sweat dripping down his face, his body still tense. He looks at the fire, watching the flames twist and dance. His mind drifts. He remembers the chase of the zebra, the scream of the lions, the fear in the wolves' eyes. He feels pride that they have endured, pride that they live still. One of the older men begins to make sounds, gestures with his hands. He points to the fire, then to the children, then to the plains. His voice rises and falls, broken and rough, but it carries meaning. He is telling a story, the story of the hunt. The children, though half asleep, listen. Their small faces glow with wonder. The man realizes something. The story itself is as powerful as the fire. It will keep the memory alive. Long after the meat is gone, long after the lions return, the story will remain. It will remind them how they survived. It will guide them when hunger comes again. Above them, the stars spread across the sky, bright and endless. The man lifts his eyes to them. He does not know what they are, but he feels their weight. They are always there, watching, unchanging. In a world full of danger, the stars are the only things that never move. Perhaps they are spirits. Perhaps they are hunters greater than him. He does not know. The fire crackles lower now. The night grows colder. One by one, the others lie down, curling near the warmth. But the man stays awake longer, listening. The night is never silent. He hears the far-off roar of a lion, the scream of some creature caught in its jaws. He hears the endless whisper of the wind across the grass, and sometimes he hears things he cannot name, strange cries, eerie sounds, voices that seem almost human but come from nowhere. These sounds creep into his bones. Fear stirs in him, a fear deeper than the wolves or the lions. For some dangers cannot be seen, cannot be fought. They live in the darkness itself. He pulls the fire close, feeding it one last branch, and whispers a soundless prayer, though he does not yet know what prayer is. At last, his eyes close. He drifts into sleep, his dreams filled with the chase, the fire, the stars. The night passes slowly, the fire guarding them, the shadows pressing close but never crossing. And when dawn finally breaks, painting the world gold again, the man opens his eyes and breathes deep. They have survived another night. The fire, the hunt, the story, they are more than tools. They are life itself. The first light of morning spills over the horizon, soft and golden. The man stirs, stretching his aching limbs. Around him, the others wake slowly, blinking against the brightness. The fire has burned low, reduced to glowing embers, but it has done its work. They have survived the night. The children rise first, rubbing their eyes, their faces still sticky with grease from last night's meal. One child giggles and pokes the ash, watching the embers glow. Another picks up a stick and waves it like a spear, imitating the men from the hunt. Their laughter rings out, pure and sharp, chasing away the last shadows of fear. The woman smiles faintly, her eyes softer now that the sun has returned. She helps the children wash in the stream nearby, cupping the cold water in her hands. They squeal at the chill, splashing one another, their joy echoing across the land. For a moment there is no hunger, no fear, only play. The man watches them with a strange warmth in his chest. He does not know the word for it, but it is pride. Pride that they are safe, pride that the children laugh, pride that the hunt has given them strength. The group gathers what remains of the zebra meat. It is not much now, just bones and scraps. They share it carefully, nothing wasted. The marrow is cracked from the bones, sucked clean. Even the fat is scraped and eaten. Nothing is thrown aside. Life allows no waste. After they eat, the men step into the open grassland. The sun is higher now, warming their backs. They lift their faces to it, feeling its heat. It is more than warmth. It is power, life itself. The man spreads his arms, letting the light pour over him. Though he does not understand, he feels a deep connection, as if the sun itself is a great fire in the sky, protecting them just as their fire does at night. The women gather stones and dried grass, preparing for the next fire. They know the flames must never die. If they let it vanish, they would return to darkness, to fear. The fire is no longer only a tool, it is a treasure. The older men begin to hum, deep, rumbling sounds. Their voices rise together, not yet words but more than noise. It is rhythm, a kind of song. The children join in, clapping their hands, stomping their feet. The sound grows, echoing through the plains. It is not celebration as we know it, but it is the beginning of something greater, the first ritual. The man joins, his voice rough and strong. The rhythm fills him, beating like the heart of the earth itself. He feels the bond between them, stronger than hunger, stronger than fear. Alone, he would die. But together, they are more than flesh and bone. They are a tribe. After the rhythm fades, silence falls again. The wind carries the scent of grass, the cry of distant birds. The man looks across the plain and sees movement, antelopes leaping, small creatures darting in the brush. Life stirs everywhere, and for once he does not think only of danger. He sees beauty. The world is wide, full of struggle, but also full of wonder. One child picks up a smooth stone from the ground. He rubs it with his fingers, turning it over and over, fascinated. The man kneels beside him, showing how to strike it against another stone. Sparks fly, tiny flashes of light. The child gasps, his eyes wide. Fire born from stone. The man smiles, a rare, quiet smile. A secret has passed from one generation to the next. The group rests in the warmth of the day, their bodies relaxed for the first time in many suns. The children chase one another in the grass, pretending to hunt. They brandish sticks, shrieking and laughing, falling into heaps of giggles. The women watch them with soft eyes, their faces glowing in the light. The men sit together, their voices low, their hands carving shapes into the dirt. They draw the zebra, the lions, the wolves. Their fingers trace the hunt, retelling it with lines and scratches. It is not yet art, not yet writing, but it is memory. It is their way of keeping the story alive. The man feels a strange stirring inside him. Last night they had fought the darkness. Today they celebrate the light. Both belong to them now. The hunt, the fire, the story. They are no longer just survival. They are becoming something deeper, a way of being, a way of remembering, a way of living beyond hunger. As the sun climbs high, the tribe gathers once more around the fire. The old men strike the stones again, feeding the flames. Smoke rises, curling into the blue sky. They raise their voices in rough, broken sounds, pointing upward, toward the sun, toward the endless sky. The man does not know what they are saying, for the words do not yet exist, but he feels it. It is gratitude. Gratitude for life, for fire, for the hunt, for the dawn itself. The children clap again, their faces shining. The women sway to the rhythm. The men beat sticks against the earth. Dust rises with every strike. Their voices carry across the plain, fierce and proud. For the first time in many nights, there is no fear in their hearts, only joy, only bond, only the rising spark of something new, something that will grow into music, into story, into culture. The man looks at his people, at the fire, at the wide sky. He knows nothing of the future. He does not know that one day his children's children will shape tools of metal, build homes of stone, and speak words as we do now. But he knows this: they have survived, and survival is more than life. It is hope.